Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. We've got some I Don't Work Here Lady stories, so let's get right into them. Our first story of the day is written by Maydaygaykay. I just want to use the ATM. A few weeks ago, I went to the bank to use the ATM. It's in this small room that you enter before the actual bank so that customers can still use the ATM when the bank is closed. So first, I walk into the room, see that there was an older lady using the machine, realize there is not 6 feet worth of distance in here for us to be safe, say sorry, and go to walk out. She says, what the hell are you even thinking? I ignore her and just step outside. So now I'm waiting outside, wearing leggings and an oversized hoodie, just scrolling on my phone. I hear, "Excuse me," from behind me. Sounds like it's across the parking lot, and so I think nothing of it because I don't recognize the voice. I hear it again, followed by what sounds like mumbles, so I assume this woman is talking to someone else. Then she comes up behind me, taps me on the shoulder, she's not wearing a mask and is way too close, and starts going off on me. "It's incredibly rude to ignore someone. How dare you? Do you have no respect for your elders? I need a new card." I'm just backing up from her being like, what the freak is happening, and she just keeps going. "Excuse me, what is it with kids and phones? You're all so lazy. I need a new card. You told me I would be sent a new one and I haven't." Me, still not having a clue what she's yelling about. "The bank is closed. I'm just here to use the ATM." "I don't care. I need to get into the bank. I tried the drive-thru but no one answered." "The bank is closed. There's a worldwide pandemic. Please, I just want to use the ATM." This lady just keeps yelling about needing a new card, and the woman who was rude to me earlier while she was using the ATM steps outside and tries to tell this woman exactly what I'm telling her. The bank is closed. While they're talking, I just walk back to my car and wait until they leave because I've had enough of mean people for the day. I waited a few minutes, they left, and I was able to use the ATM. So, a happy ending. At least in the end, they got to use the ATM. That's really the most important part of the story. Our next story is by LurdMcTurdIII. Drunk Karen is angry because I don't know where she parked. This happened years ago. I went to see Tom Petty live with some friends, lost them during the show. That's a whole other story. After the show, I am waiting out front to meet up with my group, and I guess I must have looked like staff, because the next thing I know, a woman is tugging on my arm asking me to help her find her car. I try to be helpful when I can, so I asked if she knew what section she parked in. "If I knew that, I wouldn't be here talking to you." "Then I don't know how I can help you, I'm sorry." "You don't know much, do you?" "Excuse me?" "Just do your job and find my freaking car." "Lady, if you don't know where you parked, I don't know how I would. I wasn't there." Drunk lady screaming now. "I pulled in the south entrance and followed everyone else. You're supposed to be helpful, just help me." "Oh, then your car's over there," pointing in random direction. "Was that so hard?" Legend says she is still looking for her car to this day. Be honest, if you were waiting for your friends after a concert, would you have even tried to take the time to help this woman? How about after what she said? Let me know in the comments below. Our next story is by Shenko-wolf. I don't work here, lady, so I must be a criminal. At the end of my street, there's a little section of bushland with a path running through it. A couple hundred kids walk through it after school each day, and a lot of litter gets dropped. This morning, I went down with a couple of garbage bags and started cleaning up the rubbish. This was a mistake. So I'm down there, picking up rubbish when I hear, hey you, and I turn to see Karen closing fast. "Hey, I want to talk to you about my rates notice. I just got this quarter's rates and it's gone up. I'm on a fixed income and I really can't afford this increase. I need you to adjust my bill. The council can't just put rates up like that." "I don't work for the council." "It's ridiculous them putting the rates up anyway. They obviously have money to burn sending you out here on a Saturday. I suppose you're getting full overtime pay." "I don't work for the council." "I suppose it's all right for you. You get discounted rates as an employee, right?" "I don't work for the council." Wait, what do you mean you don't work for the council?" "I don't work for the council." Well, why did you tell me you work for the council? I didn't tell you I work for the council. Well, what are you doing picking up litter? It's ugly and bad for the environment. And storms off. At this point, it's just a funny interaction, right? Well, 15 minutes later, the cops show up. Hey, do you work for the council? No, I don't work for the council. Are you telling people you work for the council? No, I don't work for the council. I haven't told anyone I work for the council. Well, what are you doing? Picking up litter. Cop 2 says, why are you doing that if you don't work for the council? It's ugly and bad for the environment. Well, we've had a complaint of someone impersonating a council worker asking people for financial information. Cop 2 says, do you live around here? Yes, just up there. Can we see some ID with your address? Well, I don't have my wallet on me. I think you'd better come with us. So anyway, that's how I got arrested this morning. How incredibly bad could these cops be? They showed up, OP very clearly must have had gloves and garbage bags, picking up litter, was cooperative, wasn't overtly defensive about anything, and all they had was a report that someone was claiming to be a council worker and asking for financial information. But if the cops even remotely just watched the situation for at least a minute, they would just see they're picking up litter. How would this be confused with anybody that needs to be brought in for something? Seems like the blind's leading the blind here. Our next story is by ZelkenDD. Never wore a polo and khakis to shop again. Background: I was at university for my nursing degree. My nursing program had some odd rules. We wore uniforms at all times. Now, this makes sense in the hospital. We had scrubs in our school color with our school name all over to differentiate from employees. However, in class/lab/simulation, we had to wear a different uniform. Tan loafers, khakis, and a white or red or navy polo the school had made with the school logo, the school name, and School of Nursing on the left breastplate. On the right side, we had to clip our university ID. Same size as a driver's license but with a picture, the university name, and student written in large print. We also had to have another, smaller name tag attached that said, Miss F, last name, nursing student. This double badge was mandatory on both uniforms, and as such, I got used to wearing it and often forgot to take the badges off until I changed out of the uniform. Story: after class one day, I stopped by the Walmart to do some grocery shopping. I was still in uniform, bright red polo, khakis, student badges that take up 1/3 of my chest. Grabbed a card and started loading it up. I was price checking store brand versus name brand granola bars, college budget, when someone yanks on my arm. Excuse me, I have been trying to get your attention since I walked into this aisle. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice. Why? Thinking I dropped my keys or something. I need you to tell me what aisle has paper towels and the aisle for sodas. I don't know. Haven't yet caught on. What? How do you not know? I swear everyone is incompetent here. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't work here. Points to giant student ID and nameplate. This is my university uniform. Well, you should know these things anyway. Me, silence. Especially if you are going to impersonate employees. I'm wearing a red polo. Walmart employees wear blue. You are wearing a polo and khakis. You shouldn't be wearing a polo and khakis to a store you don't work in. I would love to say I got a witty response in, but I was honestly just stunned to silence. She stalked out of the aisle, I finished grocery shopping, and my roommate jokingly yelled, "You shouldn't be wearing a polo and khakis to a store you don't work in," every time I left in uniform for the rest of the year. The next story was written to us by SpikedBike. I fired a guy who didn't work for me. So here's a different one for you. I'm a locomotive engineer and conductor. One time I was called on a work train as opposed to a through freight. Through is just bring a train from point A to point B, one city to another kind of thing. A work train is a train where you work with a foreman and a crew to fix track, lay new track, or even just clean ditches. As a conductor of these trains, my only job is to tell the engineer what to do and when. while supervising anyone that may be working around my train. Most often, the guys working near my train are contractors and don't have any affiliation with the railroad I work for. This one guy kept getting into some stupid situations where he was underneath the moving train trying to move rocks by hand. Now to me, and I would hope most of you, common sense would dictate that you don't want to be underneath a moving train, even if it is moving at half a mile an hour. This guy wasn't very bright to say the least. After 4 or 10 times of telling this fool to back off, I finally looked at him and told him to go home. You're fired. So he packed up and left. About 4 hours later, his actual supervisor shows up and asks where he went. I told him I didn't know. All his other employees burst out laughing and ratted me right out. The conductor fired him. So I think I'm in trouble, so I try to explain why I didn't want him near my train, and the guy stops and thanks me. He had been trying to fire him for some time and just needed a good excuse. This dude was asking for some Final Destination death stuff. Who reaches underneath a moving train? If there's a train moving 0.01 miles an hour near me, I'm still going to keep my distance from it like somebody who has a highly contagious form of corona. Not close at all. And our final story of the day is by IDWHL, Brown Truck Driver vs. 2 Church Ladies. Backstory: I'm retired from Brown Truck Company and I had 17 boxes of church books for an address. Not uncommon for churches to have a residential address, but this address was a house. I get the packages on my two-wheeler, about 51 pounds, 23 kilograms per box, go to the front door, knock, no answer. Okay, I'll stack them on the porch. Let the shoot show begin. The players: me, Brown Truck Driver, CL's 2 really overweight black church ladies dressed to kill, PH, one of the ladies' poor husband. I nominate him for sainthood. A Cadillac races into the driveway, stops, the doors fly open, and the church ladies run towards me as fast as they could waddle, screaming unintelligible gibberish. The only words I could decipher was "not home." When they got to the stairs, the conversation that followed, paraphrased and edited for profanity: "Sister XXX ain't home. Are those our hymnal books?" I'm Jewish and don't really know what that is. I don't know what they are. We don't open the packages to see what's inside. Crickets. We need you to take them over to the church. Follow us? I can't do that. I have to deliver them to the address on the label. The reply from the church ladies was, lots of profanity with Jesus sprinkled in for effect. How do we get the address changed? Mrs. So-and-so has to refuse the shipment and have it rerouted. Okay, we want to do that. Are either one of you Mrs. So-and-so? If you are, I'll need to see your ID to verify. They had already told me she wasn't home. A response comes in with more profanity with Jesus added in. Ladies, I have to leave the packages here. Can you take them inside? I can put them inside the door. Poor husband, go get Mrs. So-and-so keys out of the car. He comes back with the keys and opens the door. I'm gonna need you to take those to her office, down the hallway, first door on the left. Ma'am, I can't go inside the house, it's against company policy. More profanity, faking the almost faint Jesus added in between F-bombs and white devil. I'm Jewish and look the part. The most I can do is sit them inside the front door. I'm not allowed to step inside the house. More profanity. Poor husband, go inside and take those to Mrs. So-and-so's office. He goes in and I start handing him boxes. On the third one, he looks at me and says quietly, F this. Poor husband comes out and tells church ladies, Mr. So-and-so can put that chute up herself. We're leaving. He starts towards the car. Church ladies standing on the porch, dead silent, with their mouths moving like fishes. I start to walk away and hear our favorite words. We're the customers, we pay your salary, you work for us. Oh heck no. Stop, dramatic turn. Ladies, I work for Brown Truck Company. I brought Mrs. So-and-so her stuff. I'm done. Start back towards the truck and here. We gonna pray to Jesus for you. Full stop again. Dramatic turn. Ladies, I'm Jewish. I ignored the rest and left. Honestly, it sounds to me like these ladies need to spend a little bit more time with Jesus themselves. But that being said, that's all the time we have for today, so if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know in the comments down below which one and why. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn notifications on. All of those things help the channel so immensely, so thank you no matter what you did. Whether it was just watching the video, liking, subscribing, whatever you do, thank you so much for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time, right here.